In this video, I'll be reviewing the 7th episode of Ninjago Dragons Rising Season 3 Part 2, The Vault of Focus. This review will contain spoilers for the episode, so here's your official spoiler warning. Alright, so the episode starts with a flashback of when Cole joined the Finders after the merge. I really enjoyed this scene because it's full of references. We see Clutch Powers' book, booby traps and how to survive them from season 11, and there's even a mention of crack. Apparently Fritz's village was attacked by one of them. That little detail actually hit hard because Fritz is so young, and the thought of him ending up in the land of lost things, never seeing his family or friends again in the Never Realm, is just sad. Then we cut to the ninja in the City of Temples, and I was really happy to see this location return. Jay especially stood out here with some great humor throughout the episode. His insult at Roby was hilarious, and the whole sequence with Lloyd following Black into the darkness, only for Jay to joke that Lloyd would die instantly, was perfectly in character. Same with his comment that romantic relationships make no sense to him. Sure, it was kind of brutal to say that in front of Nia, but since he's lost his memories, it also makes sense, and it's consistent with where his character is right now. Meanwhile, Kai, Cole and Frag chase Noct into Imperium. This leads to a moment that some might find controversial. Cole rushing into battle against Noct without thinking things through. Now, I get why some would call it reckless, but honestly, it doesn't feel that out of character. Cole has always been about family, and the Finders have become his new family. Losing them would naturally push him into making rash decisions. It's stupid, yes, but it still makes sense to me. Back in the City of Temples, the ninja free Blade. Personally, I don't really care for him much as a character, but it works for the plot. And then we finally get into the Vault of Focus, which is where we get new lore. We learn about Thunderfang being defeated and chained in ancient times, and how the same can be done again. We also hear about the caverns where both halves of the Archdragon of Focus are sleeping, and even about the Unbidden Storm. I always love when the show expands its lore like this. The emotional highlight for me was the argument between Nia and Jay towards the end of the episode. Their dynamic has been handled so well in these recent episodes, and Jay in particular has been such a standout. Every line he delivers just makes me more invested in his character. And then we end with a teaser of Raz. Now, this was shocking. He's shown wearing skeleton armor, and according to the wiki, it's made from the bones of the skeletons he defeated in the underworld. That's brutal, and it makes him feel like an even scarier villain. Honestly, I might make a whole video just about this. Now, let's move on to what I didn't like. First of all, when Kai, Cole and Frag arrive in Imperium, we found out that they've conveniently been researching prismatic steel. Suddenly, they can upgrade their blades so the spectral Dragonians aren't a threat anymore. To me, that feels way too convenient. Percival says they've heard about the spectral invasions, but why would they already have prismatic steel in Imperium? It creates more questions than answers. On top of that, the prismatic blades are becoming more and more inconsistent. Originally, only Aaron's return blade had the ability to come back when thrown, but in this episode, Kai does the exact same thing with a different blade. That just makes the whole concept confusing. Also, Percival's reaction after Noct and his minions retreat didn't sit right with me. He's way too happy about them leaving, even though so many people in Imperium have been hollowed. It doesn't feel like the response of a leader who truly cares about his people. At one point, Jay says they barely made it out of the spectral lands. Honestly, I don't really buy that. None of the Forbidden Five saw them, and neither did Thunderfang. They just fought some spectral Dragonians, something they've already done multiple times. The Dragonians couldn't even enter the monastery there, so the whole barely made it out line doesn't add up. And lastly, I'm still disappointed we didn't get to see Raz fighting the skeleton army in the underworld. Knowing now that this armor is made from their bones, makes it even worse that the fight was skipped. Every Raz fight we've seen has been incredible, so leaving that one off screen feels like a missed opportunity. So overall, this episode had a lot of strong moments, some great references and solid lore additions, but it also had a few questionable choices that bugged me. For me, it's a solid 8 out of 10. And that wraps up this review. If you want to see my reviews of the other episodes, you can check them out on my channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.